cousins who had disagreements on who was the better cousin. And that's the rest of us dying so that these cousins can prove themselves in their kingdoms as strong and powerful and beautiful. Where on our side as the Republic, we are just all citizens. It's a beautiful thing to be a citizen. And in your country, where the UK, you live under one of these tribal kings, and that is King Charles. That's the Angles and the Saxons have combined together, and they've dominated the Franks and the Visigoths and the Goths and all these other groups. To combine and create one kingdom. That's what their purpose and goal is of Europe, is to create one dominant tribal kingdom above the other tribes of Europe, where America has the opposite goal, where none of the tribes should rule at all.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty accurate assessment. It's kind of wild to think that, that the king, it's amazing that there are still kings and queens out there that literally have the frame and the mindset that we are not just administrators of the state. We are the family that runs and rules this state. It's in many ways, it's kind of like an amazing thing that the herd population surrenders its will to the will of a king and queen. It's pretty far out. I mean,
the scariest part is like the French Revolution, where they were able to knock a king down. The Bolsheviks were able to knock a king down. There's a bunch of kings that have fallen, and they've all been mostly absorbed into the House of Windsor now, where it's the UK king. But the reason they got knocked down is because they were not connected religiously to a faith structure. But that's the reason why King Charles, Queen Elizabeth, and the UK kingship continues to go, because they adopted themselves as the head of a church. Mm-hmm. So what we have seen is that these religious monarchies have become to exist. They have conformed religion to their existence alone, where for you to be a supporter of God, you have to support them as a king. They are royal bloodlines, and that's the only way. They've manipulated faith into a tool for their existence, where on our side, the Protestant side, which is why I tell you to be a Protestant, that's not there. The kings don't really matter. In fact, we like presidents and stuff. It's not necessarily a requirement for even Jesus to come back and be a king, just a leader. It's just a word to describe his position of leadership, not an actual title.
Well, anything else you want to say, Dr. Sparkles?
Why are you calling me Dr. Sparkle? Sparkly Seal.
We're all doctors in here. That's the reason why he says that. By the way, we're not doctors, but we are doctors when we're in here. You are today, Dr. Sparkle.
But you're still required to say you're not a doctor. Yes, correct. I'm not a medical doctor. However, I'm Dr. Brian, a fictional character in this room.
Yeah, exactly. I am not a medical doctor, nor am I a professor of anything, but I am Dr. James.
Because I'm actually a doctor of natural science, and I'm also a doctor of magic son, but I'm not a doctor of medicine. I'm also a doctor of medicine's son. But
no, that's just the official title of everybody who enters a room with doctor here, is that you are now doctors as well.
See, on Clown House, a lot of retarded people like to call themselves doctors. And many of these retarded doctors are what we call vaccinologists or abortionists. And they love to parade around their title, doctor. Thus, I too am a doctor.
I'm vaccinated.
I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, hi, Jessica. Welcome to I Hate Donald Trump, and I am very angry. Well, I would now like to move us to the musical portion of this podcast in the Deep State Patriots. Since we're talking to such a beautiful, lovely English flower, I would now like to play for you a sample of medieval English polyphony. Here we go.